Hey everybody, what's going on? Emo Tempest here, wrapping up our set reviews. This is the first time we've decided to do a multi-element review because it makes sense. Every other color had one colored L, and then all their other legendaries are residing in the multicolors of Madness section. So we'll be doing it separately. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the other ones and follow along from the series. Hope you guys have been pulling great, and if not, hope you made some money at least, or pull something to make some money to get the cards you need. Yeah, you guys get it. But yeah, without further ado, let's wrap up this set review with the multicolored cards, multi-elements. First, we have Vaughn. When Vaughn enters the field, select one of the following two actions. Choose a forward, deal it 5,000 damage. Activate all backups you control. Not a bad card. Fire Wind has some very useful cards. It's a very decent combination. It has been for a while now. This card reads cast count to me. This is better than Cater slightly. Searchable EX burst, so we like that too. I don't know if it'll see play, but I'm optimistic. Zidane. Now this is a card. When Zidane cannot be blocked. I'm sorry. Let me start over. So 2 cost, Fire Wind. Tantalus, Member, Thief, Dissidia, Final Fantasy, and Category 9 has haste. When Zidane cannot be blocked by a forward of cost 3 or more. If it wasn't bad enough. When Zidane enters the field or attacks, your opponent reveals their hand. You may select one card from their hand. If you do so, remove it from the game, and your opponent draws 1 card. Now, I don't know who at Square loves Zidane, but you guys have been really generous with all of his effects. No other character gets such strong effects consistently. That being said, this card is going to be a very big problem, I think, this set. Also, probably one of the most desired cards. Yeah, he's very strong, very good. I didn't even catch the can't be blocked by a forward of cost 3 or more the first time around. I'm just revisiting it right now, and my goodness, is that unfair already. So a lot of situations to get across. Solid cost, right? Solid power level for its cost. Obviously easily answered, right? It's a little bit more how do I put this? If he goes off and he runs around for a few turns, he causes a lot of disruption. In my opinion, it's again, it might be a little too early to tell. This is the set review on launch day, but I feel the last Zidane we got is a little more immediate, a little more of an immediate grievance, I think. So it really just depends on the deck, I think, and so what you're going for here. But who knows? Either way, I'm confident this will see play. Cherokee. The category 11 forwards you control can use action abilities with the tap in cost as they had haste. Search for up to 1 Kuki Chibuki or Maki Chibuki and play them onto the field. So not a bad card. I think it's very good. They're gonna lean well into each other. For Tarus or whatever they're called. Yeah, I think they might honestly pair well with Zidane in a deck, but who knows? I know people like Mill, and this might be what helps you guys out. So yeah, something to think about. The Emperor, solid card. A warp 2 colorless, the first one we've seen with this. When he enters the field due to an ability, one of the following two actions, remove all the cards in your opponent's break zone, or choose a forward in your break zone and add it to your hand. I don't know why, but I feel like every deck should play 1 or 2 of these, just because you can do it for free. You can pitch a forward, warp him in 2 turns, you get that forward back. That seems good to me. If you don't like that, you can remove your opponent's break zone. And which deck doesn't need break zone removal hate? I'll wait for an answer. So, solid card. I think he's very great. Ice Earth is gonna get better with this. It was already pretty good. So, Prish, when warp 2, so Ice, Earth, and 2 colorless. When When Prish is in your hand, remove from the game due to warp. Choose a forward to deal 8,000 damage. When Prish enters the field, choose up to one forward and one backup. Dull them and freeze them. This full art looks fantastic. I can't wait to hold one in my hand, but it's a solid effect. Again, I think Ice Earth is eating well this set for sure. I think this will definitely see play. I like that the cost is a little more effective. I was concerned that you couldn't do this turn 1, but you could, or like right away, because you pitch a nice card and an Earth card that will, be all 4 colors, and or all 4 CP. You need to warp this card, and then you, boom, AK something. So solid. It's a good defense card too, right? It's both offensive and defensive, which is what I like. So Larkishus, man, this guy's good too. I hate that this one didn't get full art, but maybe later. Well, I know it's not custom art, but I thought it was. So, original art. When Larkishus enters the field, choose a monster of cost 3 or less in your break zone. Play it onto the field. Yeah, this is the first time we get anything this strong. Like, I think previously it was only the realm that you had to pay crystals to search one and play it onto the field. So a lot of extra hoops to jump through instead of just entering ETB. And so yeah, this guy's great. For a common, he's absurd. Sealed, very good. Limited, also very good. Standard will be very good. Gilgamesh, Warp 1, Lightning and Wind, has Haste Brave, and then Hurricane. S, Lightning, Wind, and Colorless. Choose a forward, break it. Honestly, this guy's not too bad either. Warp 1 for AK Haste Brave is pretty good. The S ability is a luxury, I think, but it's better than 32 ounce Hurricane, or whatever the translation said for this card. Cloud, the chase card. The cost required to cast Cloud is reduced by 2 for each card you have cast this turn. It cannot become 1 or less. When Cloud enters the field, choose up to one forward of cost 4 or less and a forward of cost 5 or more, break them. So, pretty good card. Very, very strong and sealed. My concern is that despite his, reduction, he just doesn't hold up to what Locke can. And so I think he just struggles there a little bit. Either way, he's a good card. At the very least, he comes in and he kills something, right? At least one thing. And just outside of that, and then being able to recur him makes him very fun. So in a scenario where your opponent's able to recover and restabilize, you're like, okay, let's bring him back. We're playing Wind already, so we have Althea, we have Chocobo. I'm sure we have Bismarck. Tons of cards to bring it back. There's a lot of new cards to get him back from the break zone or search another copy, whatever. Lightning also has cards that, sacrifices cards. So again, being able to get him out of the way or recur him somehow is not a problem. And then he just comes in and kills again. So it's going to be hard dancing around this guy, but my concern is just, is it enough, right? Very good. Colors are not the, I don't want to say not the most desirable, because Wind Lightning has a lot of very good, mostly Wind. Wind is just an exceptional color all around, and paired with anything is always great. So being able that it's 7 is a plus. So I don't know. There's a lot to be said about this card. I just wonder if it's enough. Very, very old. He's a Uke FFCC. If a guinea pig counter is placed on him, when he attacks, dull all the forwards your opponent controls, and his power becomes 9,000. Those are 2 separate effects. So once he gets the counter, his power will become 9,000. By the way, not he attacks to become 9,000. So remove the top 5 cards of your deck from the game. Place a guinea pig counter on Virulent, and then at damage 3 he gains haste. So quite an interesting card. His cost is a little hefty, but I think his ability is worth it, right? This guy closes a game for you easy. It's not like, assuming he gets to attack, of course. The downside is if he attacks and after you've pitched stuff and you stop him, then he kind of sucks. But I mean, he gets killed right after you pitch before the attack. Any scenario of that is just awful. But he's tough. In sealed, he just kind of scares you, right? Scares your opponent a lot. So I like him. He's a good card. Pain. When Pain enters the field, choose 2 cards of either player's break zone. Remove. I'm sorry. If you control 3 or more category 10 characters, remove them from the game and draw a card. Honestly, super solid card. Being able to the category, like the character restriction, it's pretty simple. If you've been following along, the backups line is going to be much faster to achieve in the category 10 stuff. Removing 2 cards, that's like a basic Kadaj, right? That changes things. And you draw a card, give me the value, please. Yeah, very good. 2 for 7 too is above our average curve. Hilda, in my opinion, probably one of the best looking cards in this set. So tap, search for Scott, and play it onto the field. Obviously search your deck, but you can search it in your binder or somewhere else. But and then 2, you can tap to search a category 2 forward in your break zone and add it to your hand. You can only use this ability once per turn. It's not a bad card. I don't know if we have enough to support to generate it. Very easily search, right? It's a princess, which is very good. It's low cost. I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but I like this card a lot. I'm gonna try to mess with it. The problem too is the Scots. Our Scots are kind of meh. There's an off-color one, which is better, a fire one, and then there's the old water one, which we didn't like anyway. So, Yuna. We talked about this one too when it was revealed on the card of the weeks. So when Yuna enters the field, choose a forward your opponent controls. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of category 10 characters you control, put it to the top or the bottom of its owner deck. And at 5 damage, when she enters the field, search for a 10 character of cost 6 or less and play it on the field. Lots of good things here. Again, even if at 2 cards, if you're playing this turn 2 and your backup is a 10, you can already effectively remove something for 2 CP. So that's a good thing. And as the game goes on, you have more 10 cards, which we got a bunch of this set, and we've had a bunch of over the last few sets. Yeah, you're going to make great use of this card. I'm actually concerned that this card is going to be very strong and very problematic. So those box toppers might actually be worth more than what we know. Unai. Before paying the cost for Unai, you can remove a total of 2 earth and or water summons in your break zone from the game to reduce the cost by 2. When Unai enters the field, choose a forward your opponent controls and a backup your opponent controls, return them to their hand. And you can tap and choose a summon in your break zone and add it to your hand. You can only use this ability once per turn. A lot of good things to say here. I'm just concerned how much we're using this. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now, but it is a good card. I think people are gonna find a way to mess. Water Earth has always been one of my favorite color combinations, so it should find a home. It's just how many, right? Like maybe 1 or 2 of these instead of like 3. I don't know. And then removing the summons means you need a little extra summons in this deck to maximize the potential. Unless you're just recurring, like, basic stuff like Atamos, Kuchulanes, Mist Dragons, and stuff like that. Garnet, which would pair well with Unai. When Garnet enters the field, choose a summon in your break zone, add it to your hand. And when Garnet enters the field due to warp, choose a summon in your break zone, add it to your hand. So, super free, comes in, gets 2 summons back. No color restrictions on those, so as long as you're able to warp her somehow, you can recur a lot of fancy things. Maya, Brave, Mobius. The category Mobius forwards other than Maya you control gain 1,000 power and Brave. When Maya enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 2 Mobius cards among them to your hand and return the other cards to the bottom of the deck. I love this card. Mobius, when you reveal, it can be forwards, backup, monsters, or summons. So grab any Mobius card you want. Just to refresh your memory if you haven't looked it up yet. There's a 3-cost Titan. There's Remora. There's Sophies. Tons of Sophies. Sarah Mobius, Wool, Neo Exteth, lots of cards for you to grab out of this. Braska's Final Aeon, Fusoya, an old Cloud of Darkness, Yasmat. Lots to think about. My concern is just, is it enough? She is very cheap and effective and has a buff for herself. Not for herself, I mean for others as well. Like, and she gets brave and stuff. So I don't know, pretty good stuff. Zack, Warp, Fire, Lightning. When Zack enters the field, choose a forward, deal it 7,000 damage. When Zack enters the field due to Warp, gains haste, first strike, and brave, which isn't too bad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this guy's gonna make it in deck. I hope. I'm optimistic, but most likely not. I think. Anima. When Anima enters the field, choose 2 cards in your break zone. Remove them from the game. At the end of each of your turns, remove the top card of your deck from the game. Then, if there are 5 or more cards removed by Anima's ability, add them to your hand and break all the forwards your opponent controls. Gonna be a tall order. In sealed, actually, this is very likely. So, if nothing else, it should help you in win sealed games. Because for 4/9, it's very tough to remove that. It kind of dodges all the other generic removal that's in the set, in my opinion. So yeah, just wait for a good time and pray. Standard, I don't think he'll see play unless you're really, really banking on like protecting this card for such a thing that is it really worth it, right? How many cards are you expending to get back the 5 cards and remove? Let me see, what is it? Just and break all the forwards, right? It doesn't even do anything else. Like if you were able to live and it just says break all your opponent's backups, then there's reason to do this, right? Or like, I don't know, maybe something else, but it's tough. And again, this effect all has to be from the same Anima. So if you remove 3 and they kill it, and then you play another one, and then you remove 2, it doesn't matter because it's always referring to this Anima's ability. So, or the 1 card you played. So if you play another card, it just kind of resets it. Ishtola. We skipped this card of the week because it was kind of a boring letdown, if you ask me, but some people were liking this. When Ishtola enters the field, you may receive a point of damage. When you do so, until the end of the turn, Ishtola gains haste and cannot be blocked. When neither player receives a point of damage, choose a forward your opponent controls and deal it 4,000 damage. So, it's not bad. After playing it or seeing what it can do, it's not bad, right? So you're going to come in, take a damage, gain haste, and be unblockable. You're going to swing, deal. So when you take the damage, you target something for 4. When then you swing and deal them a damage, you kill something as well. So, but after that, she kind of just sits there, is my problem. I know Fire Lightning is moving into that weird territory where you're taking damage and stuff like that. And that's okay, but I don't like this for other reasons. It's not... this will find a home because of its cost and its color, and I'm not concerned about that, but it's just... I don't know. I don't like it too much. I'll change my tune once it, beats me a few times in tournament and I get salty. How are we doing here? We have... Whoa. Mog... Oh, yeah, that's right. We finished on Warrior of Light. Mog 6 is reduced by 1 for each Category 6 character. When he attacks, all your forwards gain first strike, and add damage 3, dull and free something, and draw a card. Really good card. I think, yeah, just a really good card. Has to be 2 anyway. It has to be 2 CP no matter what, because you need to be able to pay at least 1 for each color. So, if your first 2 turns are play a 6 water and a 6 ice, then you play this guy turn 2. And he's kind of a problem giving everyone first strike. It's just something you don't really think about it too much because there's not too much first strike issues, but it does become a problem when you can't block anybody because you're gonna lose, and you lose. You don't trade, you lose. So, and at damage 3, he's just a lot more fun. So there's that. Shadow Lord. Outside of sealed, you're not gonna play this card, but this colors help out in sealed too. So your opponent discards and you draw. So not bad. Realm. We did talk about this one. So being able to play a monster from your opponent's break zone is very exciting, and then it also feels like it might be a big counterplay into a meta that I think might be coming. And then, or during this turn, the next time you cost a 4 less, you cast from your hand, remove it from the game, cast it again, and then it goes back into the break zone. So yeah, it's just a good card. I think there's a lot of potential here. It really just depends on which summons we're abusing, and if we're abusing them to what extent, right? And lastly is the Warrior of Light, which was, I believe, one of the first reveals for the card of the weeks. Solid card. You can only pay CP produced by backups to cast Warrior of Light. Haste, First Strike, and Brave. When Warrior of Light enters the field due to your cast, activate all backups and draw a card. And you can tap him to deal 5,000. So just a lot of versatility. Is very fun to run into in sealed. I don't want to give away too many secrets, but I know this card is going to see play. Warrior of Light is finally at a good point, like the job of the deck. I think between this, Refia, and the collection of cards we've been getting over the years, Warrior of Light deck might actually be top tier or very competitively close to that. So we'll just have to wait to see as the meta progresses a little bit more. Other highlights, if you didn't know, you can pitch this for Earth, Water, Wind, or Earth. I'm sorry, yeah, Fire, Wind, Water, or Earth. So should help you color fix yourself. Can be cheated out, just won't get the benefit from activate all your backups and draw a card. But you're cheating it out anyway, so you're getting a big guy with Haste, Strike, First Strike, and Brave. Yeah, that's about it. Yep. That's gonna do it for the set, guys. If you've been following along, we've done all the other ones. Make sure to check those out. For me, the dual color cards that will stick out the most, I think, are gonna be Zidane, the 3 Ice and Earth ones for sure, followed by the Yuna and the Warrior of Light and the Realm and Mog probably. As much as I love the Garnet and the Maya, there might fall into like a certain deck that might not be relevant, so I don't know. Same thing with the Cherokee and Unai. Yuna and Pain were also on the good list, but and Cloud, I guess. But I don't know. A lot of good cards this set in general. Remember, if you want to know more about the 13 cards, check out the deck profiles and the starter review I have on the channel. And yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. Hope I've taught you something. And if I didn't, well, do me a favor and like the video anyway. As always, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Happy deck building, and I will see you guys in the next video. But if not, I'll see you in Materia Cups with my best category. My best Opus 19 deck. Take care, everybody.